I was at a school one time, and on the wall there was a poster, and it said, "What is your destiny?" That got me thinking. Well, this week in this session, we're going to talk about your destiny, and I think you're going to like it. It's time to feed the dog. I would like for someone to shuffle the deck. Would you? Why don't you shuffle the deck? Is that okay? You want to just continue to shuffle it as much as you can. You can shuffle it face up. He's good at this. I hope you're seeing this. Look at this guy shuffle over here. Now we're going to take this deck of cards and leave it just like it is. Simple enough?
Yeah.
You're going to reach in here with your hands. Just like this.
So?
Yeah, just kind of reach in here.
Okay.
Just put them over the top here somewhere. Just
Gotcha.
Put them over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, great. And just that way, at some point you're gonna go down.
Like right now?
Yeah. You're just gonna go down. Sound good?
Yeah.
And essentially, what we're doing here is we're making 3 different piles here. Yeah. You can go ahead and just push. Yeah. That's approximately where you had the positions here. So
yeah.
Let's just go ahead and we'll go ahead and turn all of these over. You can go ahead and turn that one over if you want. So now we have 3 different stacks that are approximately the same. Now, you are going to take the dice. Go ahead and take the dice. And I want you to just go ahead and warm them up first. Go ahead and warm the dice up. Yeah, warm it up really good. Yeah. And he's going to blow on them. He's going to blow on the dice. And go ahead and roll them here on the table. Excellent. This is fantastic. Just push 3 of them this way. Just push 3 of them this way. Great. Yeah, or just perfect. Just like that. Does this sound good to you? And you just take those and throw them over the shoulder.
Like just throw them?
I'm just kidding. Hang on to them right there. Here's what we have. We have different, a little bit of choice, a little bit of chance that we kind of work on. The difference between choice and chance is choice it was very deliberate, like with your hands, for example. Chance is where you threw the dice. Like we had no idea where the dice would land. We also didn't know that you would bump the dice and it would turn over as you moved them. That's out of our control, right? We have 3 different stacks here. Let's have. Do you mind just reaching in and grabbing, just picking up one of these?
One card.
Actually, just point to one. Just point to one. Yeah. You want to use this one?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Is it okay if we move these to the side? I'm just going to move these over just like that. So what we have here is the stack in the middle. It says 3 on top. So watch this. We're just gonna go down 1, 2 to the 3rd card. Is that okay with you? And leave that just like that. We'll clean this up. Now, a series of choice, a series of chance. Lots has gone into this to get us to this moment right here. So lots have gone into it. I mean, by shuffling the cards, that was a lot of chance. We don't know where those cards are going to land, right?
Yeah.
The choice was you chose one of these, right? I don't know if you've noticed, you probably have because it's under your nose, but over here there is a card that's been here the entire time. You probably noticed it. Maybe no, you probably didn't. I don't know, but something interesting about this card. It also has 3 right there on the dice. So we've experienced some choice and some chance, but maybe there's a little bit of destiny involved here too. You can see 3 and 3. The card.
What the heck?
The cards
Oh my
match. With choice, chance, and destiny.
Oh, that was bad.
Worship is our destiny. We were created for worship. And we will worship. And as a matter of fact, it says in Philippians chapter 2 that there's coming a time where we all will worship because every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. I have a friend who is an atheist, and he tells me that he can't believe in God because he can't figure God out. If I could figure God out, maybe he's not really God. I think it's a good thing to not be able to figure God out. I think God is so big and so infinite and so incredible that my little finite brain can't handle it. My little finite brain cannot understand an infinite God. I think that drives me to worship. He's so big, He's so great that I want to worship Him even though I can't figure Him out. There's a lot of things I do on stage. The intention is I want to do a trick that no one can figure out. Sometimes they figure it out, sometimes they think they figure it out, and sometimes they just totally can't. And I think in that moment of not being able to figure it out is space for mystery. And I think God is full of mystery. And that mystery drives me to want to worship God. And that's a beautiful thing. There's some things I read in Scripture that just don't make sense to me. There's some things that I have a hard time with. I just go, why did it have to be that way? For example, Abraham and his son Isaac. It's a weird thing sometimes for me to think about. Or Jesus having to die on a cross. Like, that's a tough thing for me to understand. But you know what? My brain is too small to understand all of it. But I have to trust that God has a way, and His way is perfect, and He is much more wise and much more incredible than I can even imagine. I think about a worm. There's a worm crawling around in the dirt. I wonder if that worm has any idea of what my plans are today. Does that worm in my front yard in the dirt know what I'm going to do at work or at school or as I interact with people? Absolutely not. The worm is too tiny. He can't understand the complexity even of my human brain. He can't understand everything that I'm up to. I feel like in the same way, not to say we're worms, but in contrast with God, there's no way for us to understand how great God is, and His plan is definitely way beyond anything we can come up with or comprehend. But to me, that mystery drives me to worship. So why worship? Pretty simple. It's because of who He is and what He has done. That's why I worship. Because He shed His blood for me, because of His love for me, because He has saved me, and because He is God, that drives me to worship. I want to worship God because of who He is and because of what He's done. But what is worship? Worship is simply giving back to God all of the adoration and all of the attention and all of the love that He's given to us. It's returning it. It's giving it back to Him. And in that worship, it's a reminder. As we worshiped Him, it's a reminder of who He is. That reminder is for us. God doesn't need to be reminded that He's God. He's God. But as we do worship, we're reminding ourselves of who God is. It's a very good thing to see the difference, that we're not God, but our world should revolve around God instead of God and other things revolving around us. Worship is bringing all of that attention and adoration back to Jesus Christ because of who He is and because of what He's done. Why worship today? Simple. Because He loves us. Why worship? It's because He has forgiven us. Why worship? It's because He has forgiven us from our sin and He has saved us. Why worship? Because He loves us. He loves us. He loves us. That drives me to worship. It's time to feed the dog. Worship feeds your spirit. Worship feeds the dog.